My oldest son, his name was Jacob, and he was killed in 2014 by a drug-impaired driver. He had just graduated from Lipscomb in May, and on July 4th, he asked his girlfriend of 7 years to marry him. And then 3 days later, he was hit head-on by a drug-impaired driver and died 2 hours later at Vanderbilt. Before I was diagnosed, I put almost all my effort into my work to keep my mind busy and off of losing Jacob. I felt a lump on the side of my leg, and I didn't think much of it at first. It was there for about a month, and then it started hurting. Never did bruise or anything, so at first it didn't really, I guess, scare me until I saw the medical oncologist. And I asked her, I said, well, what's the prognosis? And she said, oh, about 50-50. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's not good. The chemotherapy had shrunk the tumor to about the size of a quarter, so the surgery was very easy. I only had a very small incision, and recovery was very easy on that one. I went back to work within 2 weeks, and on the first 3-month checkup, I was told the cancer was back. It had gone actually from my outer thigh to my inner thigh. After recovering from my second surgery, the biggest complication I had was falling. And I remember asking the physical therapist, that was my main goal with physical therapy, was just to be able to get myself up. And I'll never forget her saying to me, you'll never be able to get up without that muscle. So I pretty much stopped going to physical therapy, maybe 1 or 2 sessions after that, because that was my main goal, was just to be able to get up. I thought if I fell, I could jump up real quick and maybe nobody would notice that I fell. There's a fear, just a fear with going outside, with being alone. I was independent beforehand, and then you lose all that independence. I depended on my husband. When he was with me, I felt safe. There was a fear he had also of leaving me alone, a fear that I would fall and get hurt and he wouldn't be there. My doctor, Dr. Davis, she knew about all my falls and my injuries, and she highly suggested that I go to Survivor Fitness. I remember my first visit with Carrie, and I told her, I said, that I'd gone to physical therapy, and she told me that I'd never be able to get up without that muscle. And I'll never forget Carrie telling me, she says, we're not gonna focus on what you don't have, we're gonna focus on what you do have. And so I remember watching her, and she says, I think this will be the best way. So she demonstrated, and I tried, and my arms just didn't have the strength. But I didn't give up. I must have tried 15 times, and I finally got up that day. And oh my gosh, it was like a miracle.
I still think about Carol and get a little bit emotional. She's someone who holds such a meaningful spot in my heart and my career. Being able to work with her and have this goal that we both were a little bit unsure of and achieve it together and be able to guide her was really some of the most special moments of my life. And it really was the day that she stood up, I saw just how meaningful this job can be and just how life-changing exercise and fitness and having a trainer who really just cares and empathizes with you can do to make the impossible possible.
It was so life-changing. I got a whole new confidence in myself. I was no longer afraid. Took away a lot of the depression, all the depression I had regarding the cancer. I immediately started thinking of all the things I wanted to do. 6 months after completion, I hiked Mount Kilimanjaro and summited, and I remember when I made it to the top, I raised my arms and I screamed. I just couldn't believe it myself, to be honest. You know, I mean, there was no way I could have done that without Survivor Fitness. After having cancer, you look at life so differently. You see beauty all around you where you didn't. You see life, you see goodness. You just want to live your life to the fullest. Because every day matters. You're not promised tomorrow. And I've learned that first with losing my son, and then when I was diagnosed. Survivor Fitness, it will change your life. It will give you hope when you were hopeless, confidence when you were so unsure of yourself, and just the independence, but mostly hope. That's what Survivor Fitness is.